Lawmakers are getting their chance right now to get their hands on and review 500-plus pages in that Inspector General report that's largely focuses on Jim Comey, of course, and the Clinton email investigation was on again and off again. You remember all of that. It doesn't really necessarily deal with the so-called Russian collusion issue, although a lot of matters concerning Donald Trump and the role investigators were playing during the campaign do come up here. Louisiana Republican Congressman Mike Johnson has that report, gotten a peek at some of it here. Is it fair to say it doesn't look good for James Comey?
I think that's fair to say, Neil. I've got a copy of the report right here. It's about 500 pages. As you can see, it's about 3 inches thick. We're reading it, digesting it right now. Members of Congress have just been given this report. But if you look at the executive summary, which is the first 15 pages or so of this report, there's some pretty interesting information. You know, I'm a member of the Judiciary Committee, and our committee, as well as the Oversight Committee in the House, have been working on this since October. We've reviewed thousands of pages of documents. We've had a number of high-level FBI officials come to testify before our committees, and we've had some very serious questions about how the rule of law has been maintained in this whole process. It looks as though some of our suspicions here are being proven out, and this OIG report, I really think, is going to be explosive.
Well, what are your suspicions that are being proven out?
Well, first of all, the biggest question in the minds, I think, of the American people, and in our minds as well as members of these committees, is did Hillary Clinton receive special treatment for who she was, right? Because if she did, that's not equal justice under the law. That's not who we are. That's not the maintenance of the rule of law, which is so important to our system. If she was given special treatment and treated with kid gloves because she's a Clinton, that is a serious implication. And it looks like, if you look at page 5 of the report, I just highlighted this. It says clearly, quote, witnesses told the Office of the Inspector General that Director Comey emphasized that employees of the FBI would be disciplined for similar conduct, and he wanted to distinguish the Clinton administration from the cases of other public figures who have been prosecuted for mishandling violations. That means others who had mishandled classified information were treated differently than Hillary Clinton for who she is. That's an explosive charge, and if that bears out by the evidence, and I think it does, that's something very serious we need to contend with, as well as all the other questions.
Well, you know, a lot of Democrats are going to come back to Congress and say that this was something that was helpful to Hillary Clinton. It didn't seem to do the trick because they allege that this on-again, off-again announcement on the part of James Comey to say, we're reinvestigating, no, we're not reinvestigating, case closed, hurt her, lost the election. What do you think?
Well, look, the political outcome is irrelevant to whether or not the law was followed. That's what ultimately this is about. Our job as oversight, our job as Judiciary Committee, is to make sure that the law is handled correctly, that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, these are our top law enforcement officials in the nation, that they handle the law appropriately. The politics is a totally different issue.
No, I understand that. Was there anything in there to the effect that they were simultaneously then ignoring the Russian stuff that might have been going on concurrently?
It certainly seems that way. I haven't read all 500 pages yet, but we will by tonight. What we're concerned about is the obvious and overt bias that existed in this investigation, going all the way to the top of the FBI, from the director himself, Comey, from the deputy director, McCabe. It looks as though they were involved in, I'll use the word, a cover-up. I mean, that's my word. That's not in the report. I don't know if it's there. I haven't read it yet. We're about to. But here's the thing. When you have Peter Strzok, the chief investigator, corresponding with Lisa Page, with whom he was having an extramarital affair, when they're talking about, they're the persons in charge with investigating irregularities with the handling of classified information, they're biased against the president. It just smells to high heaven. It has to us on the investigative
So when the
committees.
Inspector General was supposedly saying, and you have the report, I don't, that Comey had a number of missteps, but he did not exhibit, and he did not see, or the report did not see any evidence of political bias. You don't buy that.
I don't buy that, and I'm not sure that's the conclusion in here. I'm telling you from everything that we've heard on Judiciary Committee and Oversight since October of last year, all points in one direction, that Comey at least mishandled this, at least was grossly negligent, or maybe something worse. Maybe there was intentional subterfuge. I think some of that's going to come out in this over the next several hours.
All right, Congressman, fascinating. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Neil.